In a city of over 6.1 million people, a community of just 2,500 has left an incredible mark on the nation's history. They are Singapore's Jewish community. And while you won't find their neighborhoods marked on any map, their story is written on some of the city's most exclusive streets and in the foundations of its most historic districts. We're going to explore a hidden side of Singapore's wealth, a story not just of money, but of heritage and influence by looking at 6 specific areas. We quickly learned that the whole idea of a Jewish neighborhood here is completely different from anywhere else in the world, and honestly, it's a lot more interesting. Welcome to a side of Singapore you've probably never seen. When you think of Singapore, what comes to mind? Marina Bay Sands, the super trees, luxury cars everywhere. It's a global hub for finance and a playground for the ultra-rich. But under all that shine lies a deeper history, a story of pioneers who helped build this city from a colonial port into a global powerhouse. And a central, though often overlooked, part of that story belongs to Singapore's Jewish community. Today, we're counting down the 6 richest Jewish neighborhoods in Singapore. But let's get one thing straight right away. This is not a list of ethnic enclaves. You won't find a single neighborhood here that's majority Jewish. The story of Jewish life in Singapore is about incredible integration, not isolation. Their presence is like a subtle, powerful thread woven through the city's wealthiest and most historic areas. So how did we make this list? We took a unique angle. We're tracing the community's path through the city, from its historic heart to the modern centers of wealth where people live today. We'll connect the dots between 19th century Sephardic traders from Baghdad and the high-flying expat financiers of the 21st century. We'll explore the legacy of titans like Sir Manasseh Meyer and Jacob Ballas, whose names are literally part of the city's landscape. This isn't just a real estate tour, it's a story about cultural history. We'll look at the original Jewish quarter, the Mahala, and see how its spirit lives on. We'll visit synagogues that are also national monuments, standing as proof of a long history of contribution and peace. And we'll venture into hyper-exclusive areas that are among the richest in the world, explaining their connection to a community now mostly made up of expats from Israel, the US, Australia, and Europe. This is really about redefining what a rich neighborhood even means. It's about understanding that real wealth is a mix of money, deep history, and cultural meaning. So, get ready to see Singapore in a new light. We're about to uncover the enduring legacy of a small community with a huge impact. We're starting our countdown not in some glitzy penthouse, but on the ground, with a piece of living history. Number 6 is the Rochor and Waterloo Street area. To most people, it's just a bustling part of central Singapore, but to understand why it's on a list of richest neighborhoods, you have to measure its value in heritage and influence. This area is the cradle of Singapore's Jewish community. It's where the story really begins. Back in the mid-19th century, this district became the heart of the Mahala, an Arabic word for quarter. Sephardic Jewish traders from Baghdad, many arriving via India, settled and built their lives here. They moved from their first settlement near Boat Quay to this area, which included Middle Road, Prinsep Street, and Selegie Road. Picture these streets not filled with modern high-rises, but buzzing with the energy of a growing colonial port. This is where Jewish merchants set up shop, adding to the commercial drive that puts Singapore on the map. And the anchor of it all, the spiritual and historic core, is the Magain Aboth Synagogue. Its name means Shield of Our Fathers, and that's exactly what it was. Consecrated in 1878, it is the oldest synagogue in Southeast Asia. Think about that. Before Singapore's iconic skyscrapers were even imagined, this building was here. Its construction was led by Manasseh Meyer, a name you'll hear again. On February 27, 1998, it was officially named a National Monument of Singapore, cementing its importance. Walking down Waterloo Street today, the synagogue has a simple, elegant look. It's not flashy, but it commands respect. But the story isn't stuck in the 19th century. Right next door is the Jacob Ballas Center, a modern complex that opened in 2007. This is where the area's historic wealth connects to the community's vibrant present. The center is named Jacob Ballas, a giant in Singapore's financial history who was once the chairman of the Singapore and Malaysia Stock Exchange. The Jacob Ballas Center is the true hub of Jewish life in Singapore today. It has a school, a kosher restaurant, a ritual bath, and social halls. It's where the community's 2,500 members, from the descendants of the first settlers to modern expats, gather, celebrate, and connect. So why is Rochor number 6 on a list of the richest neighborhoods? Because its wealth is foundational. It isn't measured in property prices, but in priceless historical and cultural capital. This district is the living soul of the community, the starting point of a legacy that continues to shape the city today. Moving up to number 5. We aren't traveling far. We're just widening our view from the spiritual heart of the Mahalla to its commercial arteries, Basah and Selegie. This district represents the next chapter, where community spirit turned into real economic and architectural influence. This is where the idea of wealth starts to look more conventional. The original Jewish quarter was a network of streets where business and life mixed. This area, including parts of Sophia Road, Wilkie Road, and Princep Street, was where Jewish families built their fortunes and their homes. Their success is carved right into the city. The most obvious sign of this is the David Elias building. Standing at the corner of Middle Road and Selegie Road, this neoclassical landmark was finished in 1928. Commissioned by a Jewish merchant named David Elias, its most eye-catching feature is on the roof, an inscription with the building's name, the year, and a 6-pointed Star of David. This wasn't some hidden symbol. It was a proud declaration of identity and success. In 1994, it was given conservation status, protecting it as a key piece of Singaporean history. The building itself tells a story of success. It wasn't just an office. It had shops, restaurants, and rooms for rent, making it a hive of activity. For a while, it was even a hotel. The David Elias building shows the community's business smarts and their role as major property developers. In fact, a 1931 census noted that Jewish people were among the biggest property owners in the city. You can see their influence all over the area. Princep Street became known as a hub for Jewish financiers. Other buildings from that time, like the Ellison Building, also have the Star of David on their facades, showing just how visible the community was. These buildings were more than just buildings. They were statements. They marked the community's transition from new immigrants to established, influential players in the city's economy. Today, Basah and Selegie are known as a vibrant arts and heritage district. It's full of museums, art schools, and cool cafes. Its richness has changed. The historical wealth built by people like David Elias has turned it into a new kind of value. The conservation status of these buildings make them prime real estate. The central location and artsy vibe mean high property prices. It's a perfect example of how history translates directly into modern economic worth. Walking through this area is like walking through time. You're in both the old Mahalla and one of modern Singapore's most desirable cultural hubs. Coming in at number 4 is a place that represents a totally different kind of power and influence, Oxley Rise. For many Singaporeans, this name means prestige. It's a quiet, leafy hill just a short walk from the chaos of Orchard Road, but it feels like another world. Its richness is one of old money and an incredible legacy of giving back. And at its center is Singapore's second great synagogue, Richest. You can't talk about this place without talking about one man, Sir Manasseh Meyer. We met him earlier as the man behind the Mahain Abath Synagogue. By the early 1900s, Meyer was one of the wealthiest and most influential Jewish figures in Asia. His fortune from trade and real estate was huge, but he's most remembered for what he gave away. By 1902, the Jewish community had grown to about 500 people, and there was some friction between the established Sephardic community and newer Ashkenazi immigrants over rituals. Meyer, a man with big ideas, came up with a bold solution. He would build a second synagogue, paying for it all himself on the grounds of his own massive estate, Bellevue on Oxley Rise. This wasn't just charity, it was a statement. Chesed El, which means bountiful mercy and goodness of God, was opened in 1905. It was at first Manasseh Meyer's personal synagogue. It's a beautiful late Renaissance style building, reflecting the taste of its founder. The location itself is important. Oxley Rise was already a posh address, and Meyer building his home and synagogue there sealed its status. It was on this very hill, at his estate, that Meyer hosted one of history's most famous scientists. In 1922, Albert Einstein visited Singapore to meet Meyer and ask him to help fund the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. The meeting was a success, and Meyer made a large donation. Just picture it. Two of the most prominent Jewish figures of the 20th century, a giant of science and a giant of industry, meeting on this quiet hill in Singapore. During World War II, the synagogue was seized by the Japanese military and used to store ammunition. But after the war, it was returned to the community, a symbol of resilience. Like Mahain Abath, Chesed El is also a national monument, recognized for its historical and architectural value. Today, Oxley Rise is still one of Singapore's most exclusive and expensive residential areas. It's known for its grand homes and quiet, tree-lined streets. The richness here is layered. There's the historical wealth of the synagogue and Meyer's legacy. There's the architectural wealth of the beautiful homes. And of course, there's the massive financial wealth you need to live in such a prime location. Oxley Rise is more than an address. It's a symbol of how immense personal fortune was turned into lasting assets for the community and the nation. We're halfway through our journey, and the neighborhoods are only getting more exclusive. If you're fascinated by this hidden history that you won't find in the guidebooks, now's a great time to support the channel. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We put out content that goes beyond the surface every week, uncovering the stories that really shape our world. By subscribing, you won't miss what's next as we count down to the single richest area on our list. Trust me, you'll want to see this. Now, back to the countdown. As we break into the top 3, there's a clear shift. We're moving from neighborhoods defined by history to those defined by modern lifestyles. At number 3 are the connected areas of Holland Village and Tanglin. These districts show us the modern face of Singapore's Jewish community, which is now mostly made up of high-achieving expats. If Rochor and Oxley Rise are about legacy, Holland Village and Tanglin are about lifestyle. The richness here is measured in the high cost of living, the number of international schools, and the truly global community of professionals. Holland Village, or Holland V, has always been a magnet for expats. It has a unique bohemian chic vibe. The streets are filled with trendy cafes, international restaurants, and busy bars. You're just as likely to hear Hebrew or French as you are Mandarin. This energetic, worldly vibe makes it a natural fit for professionals and their families moving to Singapore. Right next door is the more traditional and established neighborhood of Tanglin. This area is full of embassies, upscale shops, and some of the most desirable homes in the city. It's known for its lush greenery and luxury condos. The Sir Manasseh Meyer International School was once located in this area, which created a natural connection for the community before the school moved to a larger campus. So why is this area so important for the modern Jewish community? It comes down to demographics. Today's community of 2,500 is mostly expats, professionals in finance, tech, and law who came for Singapore's opportunities and quality of life. These families are looking for a few key things: great international schools, a community of fellow expats, and a safe, family-friendly environment. Holland Village and Tanglin check all those boxes. The Jewish community's presence here isn't marked by historic buildings. You see it in the social networks, the chats at the school gates, and the families gathering at cafes. They aren't living in a Jewish neighborhood. They're living in one of Singapore's top international neighborhoods alongside people from every corner of the globe. The price of this lifestyle is steep. Real estate in Holland Village and Tanglin is among the most expensive in the city. This is the wealth of the global professional class. It's a richness defined not by old family land, but by current income and the ability to succeed in one of the world's most dynamic cities. For our number 2 spot, we head away from the city center to where the skyscrapers meet the sea, the East Coast. Now, this next one might seem like a curveball. Unlike our other spots, there are no synagogues here, no historic buildings with Stars of David. So why is it number 2? Because the East Coast shows us what peak integration looks like. It's the Singaporean dream, and it's a dream shared by many successful members of the Jewish community. The richness of the East Coast is defined by a word that might be the greatest luxury in a city like Singapore: space. The area is famous for East Coast Park, a huge green space along the coast where people can bike, run, and escape the city buzz. The homes here are spacious condos with resort-style pools, large houses, and even some stunning waterfront bungalows. The lifestyle is more relaxed and family-focused. It appeals to a certain kind of high earner, both Singaporean and expat, who has reached a level of success where they can prioritize quality of life. This brings us to the connection with the Jewish community. As we've seen, the modern Jewish community is highly successful and integrated. Their housing choices don't follow religious lines. They follow the patterns of Singapore's wealthy class. A prosperous Jewish family chooses to live on the East Coast for the same reasons as any other family: a better living environment and good schools. In a way, the very fact that there are no specific Jewish landmarks here is the whole point. It's the ultimate proof of the community's comfort and safety in Singaporean society. It shows that they are so woven into the country's fabric that their lifestyle choices are the same as their peers. They live here not because it's a Jewish area, but because it's a desirable Singaporean area. This is a powerful statement, as Jewish communities in many other parts of the world have often clustered together for security. In Singapore, that's just not necessary. The wealth here is confident and understated. It's the wealth that buys a large home with a garden and weekend sailing trips. By choosing the East Coast, affluent members of the Jewish community are living a classic Singaporean success story. The East Coast is number 2 because it represents the pinnacle of this integration, a place where the label Jewish neighborhood is completely unnecessary, replaced by the reality of simply being a successful Singaporean neighborhood. Now, for number 1. The richest Jewish neighborhood in Singapore isn't really a neighborhood at all. It's an address, a symbol. We're talking about Nassim Road and the area around Orchard. This is Singapore's Billionaires' Row. To call it a neighborhood doesn't do it justice. This quiet, leafy street running from the Botanic Gardens to the top of the Orchard Road shopping district has the most expensive real estate in the entire country. The properties here are good-class bungalows, or GCBs, massive mansions on huge plots of land hidden behind lush greenery and high gates. So what's the Jewish connection to this center of global wealth? It's both historical and modern. The name Nassim is a clue. The road is named after Nassim Lodge, a house built in the 1850s and owned by a wealthy Jewish landowner from that pioneering generation. The very name of Singapore's most prestigious street is a direct link to the community's early influence. This history is backed up by names like Meyer Road for Sir Manasseh Meyer and Elias Road for Joseph Elias. Fast forward to today, the residents of Nassim Road are a list of the global super-rich, tech founders, business tycoons, and finance titans.
This is where the connection becomes a matter of logic. Singapore is a world financial center, attracting top talent. Given the strong historical and modern presence of Jewish professionals in global finance, like Jacob Ballas, who chaired the stock exchange, it's highly probable that among the handful of people who can afford a Nassim Road address are members of the international Jewish community. They are here because this is where the most successful players in that world reside. This area isn't Jewish in a community sense. There's no synagogue or kosher shop. The connection is about individual, sky-high success. It's the ultimate end to the story of integration. It shows that the very top of Singaporean society is completely open to members of the Jewish community. The wealth here is hard to comprehend. A single GCB can sell for tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars. Nassim Road is number one because it's the absolute peak. It's where the historical legacy of Jewish pioneers converges with the modern reality of Jewish professionals at the top of their game. Nassim Road isn't just the richest Jewish linked address in Singapore, it's one of the richest in the world. So, there you have it. From the historic Mahalla on Waterloo Street to the Billionaires Row on Nassim Road. What started as a list of rich neighborhoods turned into something much deeper. It became the 200-year story of a community's evolution in Singapore. In the end, the whole idea of a rich Jewish neighborhood in Singapore is a bit of a paradox, isn't it? The community's greatest wealth isn't found in one single area. Instead, its richness is shown by its presence across all of Singapore's most successful and desirable districts. It's a wealth of heritage, preserved in national monuments like the Mag Hai Nabath and Chesed El synagogues. It's a wealth of influence, seen in the names of streets and the legacies of people who helped build the nation. And it's a wealth of talent, seen in the professionals who continue to choose Singapore as their home. Ultimately, the story of these 6 areas is a story about Singapore itself. It's a testament to a society that values harmony and multiculturalism and provides a place where a small community of 2,500 people can not only thrive but rise to the very top. The real treasure isn't a portfolio of luxury homes, but the lasting legacy of a community that has become part of the fabric of a nation. What did you think of our list? What part of this incredible history surprised you the most? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts and questions in the comments section below. And if you believe there are more hidden stories that need to be told, make sure you are subscribed for more fascinating histories that shape our world.